2 weeks after leaving Scotland, the IFSC lead climbers find themselves 8,000 miles to the east in the Chinese city of Wujiang, 2 hours west of Shanghai. As ever in lead climbing qualifications, there were 2 men's routes and 2 women's routes, and we grabbed a word with a few of the athletes to get the lowdown on what they'd climbed.
The route was super nice. It was not so difficult, but still we have to be really well warmed up. So the route was tricky already at the beginning, at the 3rd quick draw. You have to be really precise to step perfectly. Then it was at the 5th quick draw. It was like kind of slopey holds, so you had to be good with your foot positions and the other things. So when you pass that section, it was a good rest and good holds, so you could relax and a little bit like breathe. Then it was okay till almost the last section, where you had a big, like long, slopey hold. You had to match it, and because it's so hot and humid, it was hard for some of the girls. And also for me it was tricky. And then also the last 2 holds were not so good, so you had to be really like sure you're gonna do it, and stepped also really good on the volume and the hold on the volume, and the top was a jug, so it was a cool route.
So there was the first part, which is not really hard, some strange moves on the volumes just to get you into the route. Then you arrive in the part on the slab in the middle of the route, which there are quite 2 or 3 strange moves to put higher your foot, and it's quite sketchy. It's not difficult, but yeah, it puts you a bit on the not so good. And then there is a good rest, and then the last part on the very overhanging part. Yeah, there were the last 3 or 4 moves on the more vertical part, which if you don't get there pumpy, then it's okay, you can top the route. But if you arrive there a bit tired, then it's become difficult. Where you just have to pull the horse and don't running out of energy before the top.
So the second route, it's not a really hard route. It's old school style with crimpy holes and many foot to move the body, move the ass. And the beginning is strange movement with equilibre and technical movements. After we have a second part with in the overhang with crimp and small movements. And the last part, it's a crimpy style, small movement with really small all a crimp, and you need to form the balance to jump to the last move.
I'm talking a bit about the second qualification route now. It was a bit easier than the first one, and it was also nicer to get into it. So the beginning part was easier than at the first one. It was really nice to start climbing. The holds were pretty good, and your footholds were also nice, so it was not too scary. Then in the middle part, there was a small slab bit, which in comparison to the beginning was a bit harder, but not too bad. Then you're getting into the roof, which is pretty steep, but there it starts to get a bit pumpy. Yeah, so you start to feel in your arms a bit. Some people might have been scared of the toe hook behind the corner, but it was not too bad. You could also put a heel, like I did. And then the last bit was the hardest. So there you could put some heels, but then on the last slab, there were not a lot of possibilities, so you just had to go for it. And especially the last move was pretty hard. You had to catch the hold on the right corner, and you had to get it right. But yeah, your foot position was really good again, so the whole route had really good footholds and always good rest, so it was really nice. And I enjoyed it a lot.
Tomorrow promises to be an action-packed day, starting at 10 a.m. local time with the lead semi-finals, which will be followed by the speed finals in the afternoon and lead finals in the evening. Check the IFSC website for details and all the results from qualifiers.